interested in advertising on 956sports.com, first thing you got to do is check it out. Check out the many different opportunities, the many different features that we have, and then you can hit us up at 956Jake, at 95640. We'll be glad to hear from you. And like our Facebook page, facebook.com/956sports. That's facebook.com/956sports. You can always be a part of the show that way. So let's see how it works out. All right, Coach Rocky James of the Rio Hondo Bobcats is stepping up and joining us in the huddle. Coach, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Hey, glad to have you on the show. How are things going in the fine city of Rio Hondo?
Things are going great. Things are going good.
It's always good when there's a W in the column, right?
Yes, sir. It makes the whole week go by a lot easier.
Now, you played a Thursday game, and you played out west in Rio, huh?
Yes, sir, we did. We played on a Thursday night. This last Thursday, we won 23-7.
What effect does that have on your team? You know, you played on Friday night. Now you got to come back and you got to play on Thursday. You know, we often talk about how you lose that one day, but is it really a big loss to you?
It actually is, since we don't do it very often. Usually, our small schools only have one stadium and really one team in the town. So when on our non-district games, we play the bigger schools, and a lot of them have two, three. Some have three teams in their town, so you got to play on a Friday, or Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. So, but playing on a Thursday after the game, it's actually great because now you get to go scout on a Friday. But leading up to the game, it's a little bit tough. You lose your one day that you get your walkthroughs in and all of those extra things we do. You lose that day, so it makes it a little bit tougher. But once the game's over and things go well, you look forward to it. Basically being off on a Friday is pretty neat, getting to go scout. We went to go see PI last night against St. Joe.
Before we get to your scouting evaluation, let me ask you about your game day. I saw one coach recently that he essentially does everything in the gym, in the air condition, guys line up, and you do it right there on game day. Is that something that you do, or is that how does that work for you?
No, on game day, we really don't do any walkthroughs. We'll do some chalk talk on a board.
Okay.
Basically, the line coach will talk to his linemen, and everybody kind of separated with their kids, just really going over the fine touches. But we do our walkthroughs really on Thursday when we play on Fridays. We do our walkthroughs Thursday, and then basically let the kids go home. But that would be our last walkthroughs. Would really be the day before.
So tell me about your contest with Gruya on Thursday night.
We played great. Actually started off terrible. We go on offense and we punt the ball. We have a great punt down to the 3-yard line. Their first play, they throw a fade route. Our corner falls down, trips up, falls down. They catch it. They go 97 yards. And so that was more yards than we had given up in the last two games. And so we were like, oh my God, I hope this thing isn't going bad for us. And then. But after that, we settled down, and I think we gave up maybe 80 more yards the whole game. So we were able to settle down and play some really good, sound defense. Our offense came alive. The O-line played phenomenal this game. We were pushing them off the ball basically. In the last couple of games, there was a lot of stalemates right there at the line, and this last game with Gruya, we were able to come off the ball well. So I was very proud of the kids.
How would you describe your team? Right? You are one of the few coaches that, we've seen you have success as a running team. We've seen you have success as a passing team. As you're getting into, you're advancing into the season, are you more of a balanced attack? Are you a passing attack? Or are you a running attack?
No, I think if we look at our stats, we're probably 50-50. But I would love to be a running team. But there's going to be those times that you have to throw the ball. So I think we're a balanced attack, and I'm happy the way the offense has evolved right now. We've come a long way since we first started game one, I guess, against Santa Rosa. We've come a long way, and because I have a lot of new faces on the offense. So we're starting to gel, and I think we'll be probably a 60-40 team running the ball a little bit more than throwing.
Coach Rocky James of the Rio Hondo Bobcats is joining us here in the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio 1700 KVNS and 956sports.com. Now, Coach, you say you want to be a running team. Do you have the horses? Do you have the personnel that can help you be that running team?
We do. I do have a very good O-line. My receivers are very good blockers. And so I'm thinking we do. My running back had gotten hurt at the beginning of the year. Played in that bowl game over there in Australia. So I had lost my running back to begin the season. But some other guys have stepped up and have taken on that role. If I would have had him, I would definitely be a running team. But losing him right off the bat was a little difficult because we were really counting on this kid Alan Alfaro to be the backbone of this team, and so losing him early on made it a little bit tough. But these other kids are stepping up, and I think we're gonna be able to have that rushing attack that I want.
How long is Alfaro going to be out?
Well, he had a Lisfranc fracture of his foot, so they were said the whole season, and now the doctor's saying that he could possibly come back for the last 3 district games. So, depending on how that goes, he may be able to come back this season. He's a senior, so we're hoping he does make it back. He really loves football, and he's a football player, so if he can make it back, that would really be a big boost for this football team.
Coach, last time you said you went in and scouted Port Isabel. They played St. Joe, and you got to see Kai Money. What did you take out of that game? And I don't know if you have your own Kai Money. I don't know if there's many teams that have their own Kai Money. But what did you guys take from that game for your upcoming game with them in 2 weeks?
Yeah, we play PI in a round. Well, we're open this week. We got West Oso. So in 3 weeks, we'll have Port Isabel. Kai Money is a real deal, though. He does a fantastic job. He runs that offense to a T. I was very impressed with him. We scrimmaged them. And we had our hands full trying to contain him. And I have a very good defense again this year, and we had trouble containing them. So I knew PI was going to have a little bit of trouble, and they did. I mean, the kid is phenomenal. So, but PI-wise, they're a running football team that's going to throw the ball in necessity, only in a necessity. They don't do it to start a play one. They're not going to throw the ball. They're going to run it 20 times in a row, and then they're going to lull you to sleep and then throw the ball. They'll throw that throwback, and they'll have a tight end release. The same PI is what you get. Monty's been there a lot of years, I think around 12 years now, so we already know 100% of what we're going to get when we face them, and it's just basically having a defense that can stop their rushing attack.
Now, like when you say that, when they're a running team, do you load the box? Do you put 7 in the box and man everywhere else? Or
Yes. That's basically what we do. We're going to crowd the box. We're going to have as many people in there as we can, and hopefully we make good calls. Hopefully I make good calls defensively that when I think that pass is going to come. But, I mean, it could be 3rd and 15, and Monty will still run the ball. So it's very difficult with him to say, well, I'm going to drop guys back now, and that's what he's gambling on. You're going to think he's going to pass. But he's a running team, and even last night watching him, I think there was 3rd and 15 a couple of times, and he ran the ball and a couple of times got first down. So he has a very, very good plan every time he comes into the game. He has a very good plan, and it's just us on defense that we have to come up with a better plan and try to stop that run.
Coach, who in your district isn't a running team?
In our district, I would say Progresso will be a running team. West Oso, we're just breaking down film right now in West Oso, and I'm not really sure right now what they're going to bring. My coaches are actually in the other office breaking down film right now. I haven't even seen any film on them. But Orange Grove is just a throwing team. They're going to throw the ball probably 80% of the time. So, yeah, they have a very good quarterback over there also, and they throw all that short game. So they throw all the underneath stuff and then try and hit a deep one every once in a while. But they're going to throw the ball. Most teams will run the ball to get 3 yards or 4 yards. Well, they'll throw the ball to get those 3 and 4 yards, even on first down. So basically, these tests, even playing St. Joe in their scrimmage, was really preparing us for that Orange Grove team that we're going to face down the road. I think the district title is going to they have the district title, so basically I think it's going to go through them again. We're going to have to knock them off to win the district title.
How many miles are you going to log this year? You got West Oso, you got Orange Grove, you've gone to Gruya. Are you playing at Rio or at Port Isabel?
We are home against Port Isabel. We're on the road against Orange Grove, and West Oso comes to us. So, yeah, we did, and we used to play Zapata, so that's a drive. Playing Rio is a nice little drive. Playing Zapata, that's tough. I used to think that the world ended over there past Mission, but I started going to Zapata, and oh, my God.
It's a whole new world out there, Coach.
Yes, it is.
Coach Rocky James of the Rio Hondo Bobcats is joining us here in the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio 1700. Coach, obviously, as you get ready for the upcoming teams and as you get off the Gruya win, last night you scouted Port Isabel and St. Joseph's. Break that game down for us.
Well, it was basically a Russian attack by Port Isabel and a passing attack by St. Joe. St. Joe's not the old St. Joe that we used to put 50 points on, and they quit playing us, and we just started scrimmaging them. And but they're just going to kind of money that, and really their offense was clicking on all cylinders. They were rushing, they were running the ball, they were throwing the ball, obviously with Kai, and Port Isabel just had trouble stopping them. I think offensively PI has some firepower, but I thought defensively, I knew it was going to be difficult for them to stop Kai Money, and it showed. Really, when we scrimmaged them, I had guys coming after him. It's an all-out assault when you're trying to stop Kai Money, and we were having trouble catching him. He's a really fast kid, also. So it's not like you have a kid sitting in the pocket there, and you're able to blitz him. If you blitz him, he's going to pick you apart. So it's a tough deal, and I know Monty was having trouble with that. He would do well. They'd get him in third and 13, and then Kai Money would throw the ball or start scrambling and run for it. So, oh man, it was like pick your poison. You want to come after him, or you want to sit back in a zone type thing. And I thought I had difficulty really stopping that one kid, and I'm sure everybody's going to have trouble. He's a phenomenal football player, so it's going to be, and he's young, which is the worst part. This kid is still a young kid, so he's a sophomore. So, man, for St. Joe, I mean, the future looks very bright with that kid there. But I thought PI did a great job at times, too, stopping him. I mean, they made him punt a bunch of times. So they did a very good job at times. It was just other times where Kai Money was just able, everybody was worrying about him, and the other kids were able to make plays. They had a running back do very, very well for them. Really, two running backs did very well for them. So I think just the mixture that they had, Tino, the head coach over there, has a great offensive mind, I think, and he was able to do different things to the Seawall defense, really, that you don't really see very often. He was able to expose them. So hats off to them.
So there might be some fresh ideas on how to expose the Seawall defense in 3 weeks?
Yes, actually, yes. We had a ton of kids, too. A ton of our football kids went over there to go see them. And so our kids were able to see firsthand, what they're going to get in a couple of weeks. And it's a huge game for us every year. The stands are full. The kids, we love playing Port Isabel. We've gotten the best out of them. I think we're 5-3 in the last 8 years with them, so we're up on them. So we're looking forward to our matchup with Port Isabel.
Now, you brought up an interesting point earlier. You said that Monty had been there for 12. It's actually 17 years that he's been with PI.
My God.
Yeah. And you say that the man never changes. So, I mean, how do you, when you're going to have your week of preparation, you know that he's going to have the running game, you know that he's going to have a stout defense. I mean, how do you prepare for that? Do you just say, hey, listen, guys, it's Port Isabel. We know what they bring year in, year out. This is what they do. This is how it is, and this is what we're going to prep for? Or do you kind of consider that, hey, maybe he's going to go on an edge, he's going to go on the limb, and he's going to say, let's throw in a trick play once or twice and see how that works?
Yes, he has his bag of tricks all the time, and we were laughing last night watching the game because they're like, he's going to have the throwback right now. Throwback's coming. Sure enough, there comes the throwback. So it's funny watching him play. We know what's coming. We know that they're going to do this. It's just now up to your kids to be able to stop them. And it's very difficult to run his offense at practice because we don't run that. It's like trying to run that nasty slot, preparing for it. That Wessico runs and Zapata runs at, and it's very hard to mimic it at practice. So our kids are making plays in the backfield and at practice, and I'm like, guys, that's not what it's going to look like Friday. I hate to tell you, but it's not going to be that easy Friday. But it's just very hard when you're not a tight end running power football team to do it at practice so that our kids can get a true picture. So that's the only tough part. When we run against the spread team, it's a little bit easier at practice for us. But when you have a Russian team that's going to run the ball 90% of the time or 95% of the time, it's very hard to simulate that at practice. And actually, practice time is a little bit different. We usually go 7-on-7 and do these. Well, when you play a running team like Port Isabel, your whole time is just a team defensive period, because there's no reason to run that one route that they run. You know, they'll have like 2 or 3 routes only. No reason to practice that with them. So it's pretty tough at practice, really mimicking what they do.
Coach Rocky James, the Rio Hondo Bobcats, is joining us here in the huddle. One last question, Coach, and it's a personal one. Every time I see Dino, I call him Rocky. How do I make up for that? How do you know? How can I correct that problem there?
I have no idea, but we all look the same. Even my little brother Nick, who lives in Austin, people get him confused also with us. So I don't know what to tell you about that.
How many are the James gang all of a sudden? What are we doing here?
There's a bunch of us. There's actually 7 kids in our family, and so we got 3 girls and 4 boys, and all the boys look the same.
Wow. All right, Coach. Well, listen, we appreciate the time. Best of luck on the upcoming season, and we look forward to having you on the show again very soon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Head coach Rocky James of the Rio Hondo Bobcats joining us here in the huddle on Fox Sports Radio 1700. You know, Rio Hondo, when I think Rio Hondo football, I think running backs. I think, you know, they had a Heath a few years ago. They had a player by the name of Heath, if I remember correctly. I may be going way back there. But these guys, every time I think of Rio Hondo, I think of running. And I think it'll almost scare me if one day they become the passing team that a lot of people try to become.
Well, they had a guy a couple years ago, Joseph Vela. The kid could run, pass, do everything.
It all.
Yeah.
Do it all.
He was incredible. I think he went to Kingsville and he was playing a slot receiver. So,
Wow.
they've had athletes there.
Yeah.
Actually, one of their kids, and I got to say it, Shane Eisenberg, when I was first starting, he was a corner, punt returner, receiver. Great kid. He's actually going to become a doctor. So, much love to him.
That's when you know you've done it right.
Yeah.
When you've got one of those kids that can do everything, and now he's going to have some success off the field as well.
Yeah.
All right, if you're watching us on 956sports.com, we appreciate it. I know you're not doing it now because we are actually going to record these segments and then post them up on the 956 website. If you want to hit us up via Twitter, at 956Jake is his handle. Mine is at 95649. Let us know. We would love to have you be a part of the show via the Twitterverse way. On the way, we've got Coach Tino Villarreal of the St. Joseph's Academy Bloodhounds. We'll get his take on last night's game against the Port Isabel Tarpons. Max Haybaker. Is that right? There's always.
Let's ask him today.
We'll ask him. We'll get confirmation on that. But the Roma coach is going to come out and be a part of it. And we do have connected with Coach Kevin Brewer of the Mac High Bulldogs. How about if we throw in just a slight bit of hoops? Can we do a little bit of hoops?
Let's do a little hoops.
Can we do a little Euro basket?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to have Myrie Chapman. He is the, Google him, boys and girls. Google Myrie, M-I-R-E, Chapman, C-H-A-T-M-A-N. He had great success at the University of Texas Pan American. He was a Bronx player. Then found his career taking him over the pond. And
he made some cash.
He made several records that we'll talk about with Myrie Chapman coming up. Thanks for joining us. It's The Huddle on Fox Sports Radio 1700 KVNS.